Hey guys, this is Ryan Blair here at Kai's Inc. and we are doing another Intro to Design Department video, and today we're going to be going over shapes. So over here on your toolbar on the left, you see that we have this rectangle tool here, which is also M key on the keyboard for the shortcut. So if you hold down with the left mouse, you're going to see that we get a couple of different options here. So we'll just start off with the rectangle tool. So we also have our fill and stroke. So I'm going to turn off the white stroke by clicking on it and then hitting clear. So now we're just working with a black rectangle. So if you use your left mouse button, you could click and drag out a rectangle however you'd like. And if you wanted to be a little bit more precise with it, like let's say we wanted 4x2, you could come up to your transform tools up here next to shape. You could type in 4, hit tab, and then 2, whoops, and then tab, and now we have a 4x2 rectangle. You will also notice that you get these circles around the outside edge, and what that's going to do is that's going to round the corners. And so as you round the corners, you get a little bit more precise up here as well. So with this corner type, you could do 0.75, hit return or tab, and now we have a nice 4x2 rectangle with 1/4 inch rounded corners. So we will undo that. Something you could also do is you could use a direct select mouse, and you could grab the anchor points and you could go ahead and slide them around. So there's a couple of different controls that you also get utilizing the shape tools. So for instance, if we did a star, you can click and drag a star up, and if you hold shift, it's going to keep all these proportionate. And I forgot to mention with the rectangle tool, if you hold shift while you're left clicking, it will keep the proportions to a square. So if you hold down shift and draw out a star using your left mouse button, you get a 5-pointed star. If you use the up and down on the arrow keys as you're drawing out your star, you add additional points. So this would be how you would make a starburst for, let's say, a sale offer on a flyer or something like that. You see these starbursts quite frequently. And the more you push the up or down arrows on the keyboard, the more points that you add or subtract to it. And next we're going to go over the pen tool, which is an amazing tool once you master it. And so I'm just going to drag over my web browser here. And another cool feature with Illustrator is you could just right click and copy images, and then you could Control V to paste them in. And so the pen tool serves multiple functions, but the main one is going to be for tracing. And so I'm going to lock this background image using Control 2. That way I could click and drag over it and it's not going to affect the image below so it doesn't shift around on us. So I'm going to use P on the keyboard, which is pen tool, which is also right here. And the pen tool works by drawing anchor points and adding curves to those anchor points. So to start this off, I'm going to find a good starting point, which we'll use this bottom left here, and I'm just going to do a single left click. Now I'm going to go up towards the middle on the top, and I'm going to click and drag, and as I click and drag, you get these handles, which is affecting the curvature of the line. So basically, you move it until you're happy with the trace result, so that looks pretty good, and then you could let go of the mouse button. One thing I'm going to do for this tutorial is I'm just going to go ahead and change my fill to a stroke, and I'm going to change it to a bright color so we can easily see what we're doing. And now you can see that based on that handle, it's trying to follow the previous shape. So now we could go ahead and find a good point for our next anchor point. And now you can click and drag as well so we can kind of refine that curve. And so I'm just going to go ahead and release it there. And now you can see that the line wants to keep following that curve. So in order to stop it from following this handle, we're just going to go ahead and click on that anchor point, and that cancels out the bottom portion of that handle. And so now we can do the same thing we can click and drag, cancel out the handle, click and drag, cancel out the handle, click and drag, cancel out the handle, and just kind of repeat that until we've traced the basic shape that we're looking to achieve. And once you've connected all the paths, you could go ahead and change your stroke to a fill. And now you see that we have that shape. So additionally, if you wanted to go in and edit anchor points, you could use the direct select tool. So let's say I didn't like how these handles are affecting that curve. You could click on the anchor point and then grab the handles and tweak the handles as necessary. Additionally, if you needed some extra anchor points in there, you can use the plus button or add anchor point, and at that point you could add additional anchor points to your path, and then you get full control over those as well. And that's going to be it for this video. The next video is going to go over the Pathfinder tool, so that would be how we knock a shape out of this outside shape to create this little ghosty guy. Thanks for watching.